Hello and welcome to another video from www.gameclubtabletop.co.uk. It's Duncan here again. Today we're going to have something different. I'll pan across to what we're looking at today, and it's the Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings. Now, it's going to be a semi-unboxing, but not really in a traditional sense, because I've already had a lot of the stuff out and built it. So it's more an overview of the game, what you get in the starter box. It's also going to include looking at a few other things. So I've got some expansion packs that I've got one open, so we can have a look at what you get in the expansions. And within the models that I'll be showing you, there are a couple of the characters that you can get as add-ons to the, oops, sorry, my bad. Add-ons to the main forces. So this is what the box will look like. It is a very big, deep box. If I move that out of the way, then you'll be able to see here. We've got some of the troops that I've built. Now these are all the sort of basic troops that are going to come in the box. So we've got things like the man-at-arms here. Okay, so these aren't quite basic really, because you can get militia. These are from the army for the 100 Kingdoms. So if I just pick this up so it'll zoom in on it. So there are 4 factions currently. I think there's more coming out. So you've got the 100 Kingdoms, which are like the kingdoms of men, if you like, who band together when necessary to try and face off against some of the other things that are out there in this world of EA. And then one of the other faction you get in the box is the Spires, and these are force-grown drones. So these are their sort of grunts, if you like, their main infantry. Again, they're not super powered, really. They can be buffed, as can all the units, by inclusion of characters within the regiments. And these guys get to heal and come back to life out of the bodies are sort of reanimated and brought back. And the other ones I've got out here, we've got some crossbow men for the things. Now, I haven't primed these or anything, they're just built. I thought I'd do this video before I went any further with the armies. So as you can see, you're going to get 12 at the back. We've got 12 of the mercenary crossbowmen, and then you get 24 of the men-at-arms, and then there are 24 of the force-grown drones. Try to say that fast. They come on, so you pop them onto a round base. They are quite tall. I had meant to get another figure out to show you. If I put my finger there, you can see they're a good size pieces. So they are a bit loose in some of these trays. So I think what I'll probably do is at some point just super glue some pennies or washers or something underneath, just to give them a little bit more weight to hold them down in the trays. As part of the game, you move them in units. So depending on the troop would depend how many. So in principle, you could split these men-at-arms into 2, but I think they're probably more effective working as a big blob around the battlefield. But there you go. You also get, which are in front of them, some objective markers in the box, which I think look quite good painted up. So you've got 3 that are sort of, you would imagine, more designed for the 100 Kingdoms. So the banner, the swords, and I think somewhere we've got like a treasure. Oh, come on. Oh well, you can see it like that. Look. Like treasure bags and stuff. I think they'll look good painted up. And you got 3 that are more like, you know, you got like, come on, like a drone actually coming out of the ground, and then that's like a dragon skeleton or some kind of lizard. So you get those in there as well, which is really nice. Right, what else have we got? I haven't built everything, so I'll be able to show you some of them on the sprues. Now this is one of the characters that you get in the box. So this is a noble lord. You can also get a noble lord, which would go with infantry, but this one's a cavalry one. You see, he stands very tall. You know, like I say, you think about my hand. I have got quite big hands as well, if that helps. I know you don't know how big my hands are. I'm not Jeremy Beadle. And then to sort of counterpoint that, you get these brutes in the box. And again, these are big models. It'd be about the size, just looking over sort of a Venerable Dread or something like that in Warhammer. But they are big pieces, big solid. And they also, I don't know what I put them, they come on squares as well. So all these things will have square bases, so they can be ranked up nicely. Okay, but obviously when things die, not with these have wounds, as do the knights, but the small ones, when something dies, you just take it out. And in the instructions it tells you, in the rules, sorry, I should say, it tells you which way to sort of take them out. The other thing that you get in the box is this, and this is a monster. Literally, it's called a monster. It's an abomination. It's for the spires. So these sort of drones, these are brute drones again for the spires, and obviously the knights go with the 100 Kingdoms. This is obviously it's a very tall. That's my hobby knife. Again, to give you an idea. Oh, don't want to see you off the end of the table. But this is an absolute beast. It was a pain to put together, and I'll talk about some of the models as we go. But yeah, it was a bit of a pig to put together, this one. All of these legs, so the foot and the legs at every contact point, so there, and there, are all ball joints. So it means you can position them in lots of different ways, but it also means it's a bit of a beast trying to get it together and get it to stick on the base. Again, it says square base. So again, it's all going to fit nicely when you're talking about hitting, making contact to charge and clash and stuff. That's all a lot easier because of the square bases. But again, they're on the rounds as well. Right. So you get them like this, bags, square bases, round bases together for each of the units. These are for the knights that I haven't built yet. So before I show you anything that doesn't come in the box, oh, come on. So this guy's sword is a bit of a pain. I'll show you some on the sprue. That's just feet. Sorry, the monster comes with, the abomination comes with a lot of different feet. So this is how they come on the sprues. So as far as I can tell with this, each one of these sprues is going to be another knight. So you get 3 household cavalry in the box, and then obviously the noble lord on the horse to go with them, who's going to buff them and make them even tougher when they go into attack and stuff. So there's 3 more of them that I haven't built yet. The horses, as you can see, they're quite convoluted. You have to stick on the horse, stick the man together, stick the horse together, and then there's like cloth pieces hanging over the horses. But again, they're really nice models. I'll come back to some issues with them shortly, but for now, let's keep moving on. Right, now, I've also got put together, some of them didn't take that much putting together. So these are the boxes that you get for the characters, if you want to add more characters. Actually, I've got one more character that comes in the box. I don't know where he's gone. Right, so this is the Spires character that comes in the box. And this is a Ferromancer. So again, what essentially in the basic version of the rules, I think it's changed. I need to check that. You would pop out one of your force-grown drones and pop him in. There he is at the front. You stick him in the middle at the front, and then he would be able to sort of control that regiment and do extra things. But again, you can see the character models are really nice. I mean, they're plastic in the box, and in a minute I'll show you what happens. But yeah, so that, and he went together pretty easily. He wasn't too bad compared to the abomination. Right, so yeah, so we've got the character box. There's nothing in these because I've taken them out. So that's the box they'd come in with them. And I'll open the other box and go in. Also in the starter box, you also get a rule book, which is here. Okay, which has the 2 forces in the box, all their stat cards and how to put the armies together at the back, and all their special rules. And it comes with, I just popped them in this box for ease. Come on, Duncan. Need to be more organised. Some objectives, secondary objectives that you can use within the game. But then you also get the cards. Now, I'll come back to the cards shortly. And one of the sad things I found about the character cards, and as far as I can see, the expansion units in general, I won't be able to find one now, obviously, but is that they don't. So here's one for the High Clone Executor. But it doesn't have, unfortunately, the stats. They are in the book, but they're not on the card, which is a shame, because I find it helps the flow a lot easier if there's all the info I need to play with them, and you've got the card on the table, so it helps. So there he is. I'll show you his model now. Now the big difference with these are that the models are resin. Now this one was just 2 pieces, so there's 2 heads. They pretty much look the same, and the rest was there. So he still needs a little bit of tidying up before you can see there's still just a little bit of sort of extra material on there that I just need to make sure I've tidied up. And then the other one I got was this one, which is the Chapter Mage for the 100 Kingdoms, as you can see there. So he's going to go, he's infantry again for the Spires. And then, where have I put her? There she is. The Magician. So again, gives me a bit of healing with the 100 Kingdoms. Lets me do some extra stuff. The good thing about these is that you can sort of style it up depending on what kind of game you want to bring. So they have 4 different classes. I think it's like what you'd expect: fire, earth, wind, water kind of thing. And each of them then has different spells available to them, and then they can utilize those within the battle. So again, interesting. Again, these are resin. She was in 4 parts, I think. So the head, then the 2 arms and the body. But really, really nice detail. I mean, the only issue with this one is I don't quite know where her feet have gone, but still, it's a nice. I can't get to zoom now. It's a nice looking model. Okay, so they're extras. Like I said, they weren't in the starter box. But I've been watching some battle reports, and I just wanted a little bit more stuff happening on the table. So I just picked these up just to give me a few more characters. The characters can act differently as well when you turn them into the Warlord for your force. So essentially, if we take this out of the way, that is everything that you're going to get in the starter box. There's a lot of stuff to get you going. There's plenty of units to start actually having a game. Like I say, I have opened this one up just so you can see what the expansions are like. So again, you're going to get your rounds to stick them on squares so you can rank them up. And then you get your card. But again, like I said, it looks like the expansions don't have the stats on them, which is a bit of a shame. Now, with the expansion packs, you're going to get these sorts of sprues in as well, which let you build command models to go with that unit. So leaders and standard bearers that give them buffs. They cost more money, more points for the game, but there you go. And you can see here, like I said, they are really nice models. Big angry sword. No, these are the archers, aren't they? So they have 3 arms. They're superly engineered to be great archers. So like I say, realistically, I've been seeing some demo games and stuff online. I just really wanted to throw some archers in. I mean, it's quite interesting in the box, the starter box. Like I say, the detail on these is great. And all accounts, as they go along, and do the new models, come on, they are getting better and better, which we'll come back to shortly. So the cards are important because that's how you're going to activate. As units don't start on the table in this game, they start off the table. And I'll try and do a little dummy game to go along with this video. And you roll. The troops are split into light, like the archers and things. Medium, things like your brutes, and then heavies, things like the monsters. And as you go through the game, it's easier to get on the bigger, stronger units. But in the first round, it's pretty much impossible. So you could roll and end up with no units coming on in the first round, and the other person then's got to put theirs out, and you can then react to it. So even being unlucky can be lucky. Once you start getting units on, so say your 4-strength drones and your brute drones are on, then what you're going to do is you're going to form a stack. So in this case, it wouldn't be a very big stack, but you're going to choose which ones operate first. So, right, actually, I want the 4-strength drones to come out first. When it's your turn, you turn the card over. If you had more than one unit of them, say you split them into 2, then you would pick which one goes next. Okay, but if you've got them as one big blob, then they just activate. So you activate them like that. Obviously, as you get more units to add in, then you get a bigger stack, and how you set them when you want to bring out characters and things like that is going to have an impact, because they could buff a unit before they, so like the Lord might buff them, then they charge in, they can do more damage on the charge, and so on. So the cards are crucial. Other than that, there's a lot of tactics in that. Who's going to want to go first? So if you've got a model that's on 1 wound left, you're going to try and get it out quick, so at least it might get a go before it gets destroyed. You roll to hit based on the stats in the game. So if we look at these brute drones, and if they were in hand-to-hand combat, you look at the C for clash, and they've got a 2. So unless they were buffed, you'd need to roll a 1 or a 2, and you hit. Once it's hit, it's hit. That's it. You get 1 defensive roll, and you use whichever is better, defense or evade. So in this occasion, it's defense, because there is no evade. They're too big to move out the way of stuff. So if they were being attacked, they need to roll a 3, a 2, or a 1 to avoid it. Once the wound's gone through, they're hit. That's it. They take a wound. You can see they've got 4 wounds. They're pretty tough, these big guys. And then each hit you do also then will spark a resolve roll. And again, their resolve is 4. So as long as you roll under a 4, it won't do any more damage. If you rolled a 5 or a 6, though, you would take another wound. So with the smaller troops, where their resolve is a lot lower, so if we looked at the force-grown drones here, so I'd say, their resolve is 1. And our defense is 1. So if I managed to get, say, 5 hits in, and they didn't defend any, then they'd lose 5 figures. If then they rolled over 1s again on all those 5 hits, they would lose another 5. So 5 attacks could lead to 5 hits. Sorry, could lead to the loss of 10 people. Again, they can grow back, and there's buffs that you can have, like I say, through the Ferromancers and Biomancers and characters that you can add. And then obviously they're a pretty low set. If we looked at something equal, men at arms, like I said, not quite a basic. They're a medium infantry. Their defense is 2, their resolve is 2, so they're a little bit harder to shift. They've also got shield, which adds 1 to their defense if they're being attacked from the front. The force-grown drones have that shield ability as well. So again, like making them move, picking the right targets for the right troops. You know, you're not necessarily going to want to send your men at arms in against the brutes. You might want to try and take them out with a cavalry. The abomination is another. I mean, it's a beast on its own. It gets 10 attacks. Plus, when it charges in, you get attacks for large units charging in, impact attacks before you even start attacking. There's a lot of tactics. Like I say, I'll try and set up a game once I've got these sort of a bit further along and I've got more of the units built. So I'm going to add some marksman clones, like I said, to the Spires force to give them some archery, just really to make it more interesting. And then these bad boys is one of the other units that I'm going to be throwing in. I haven't opened them here today. And that's the Steel Legion. And these guys, if you need big swords, big knights, big shinies. And again, you can see they've got the standard. You can build a leader figure. There's a guy in the middle with a different helmet who's obviously in charge. And that gives you extra buffs. But again, you'll have to pay for the points for those. But these guys are heavy, big hitters. So you might want to pop them out and get them up against the abomination. But like I say, you can see, just looking at that, there'll be another 3 knights of this size and stature. There's a lot of stuff in the starter set. Like I say, the rule set's really simple, but from the games I've seen, just leads to, because of not knowing where you're going to come on, because your deployment zone can get bigger depending on where your troops are. So if you can push your troops up the field, the heavier the troop that can get up the field, the better. So say the cavalry charge up the field, you then be able to bring units on further up the field from the side, not just from the back, your reinforcements. So suddenly you could have like the Steel Legion coming on later, or worse if you're facing them. You know, if they can push their troops up, the abomination could be coming in almost into your flank later on in the game. So a lot to think about. How you use terrain with larger groups coming through. You can garrison areas of terrain if you've got garrison terrain out. So there's lots of different things, lots of room for narrative play. If you're a solo gamer, I think there's lots of room for interesting play. There's 2 other factions that I haven't got. The Dwegome, which are like they're dwarven things, dwarven faction, and they've also got out the Nord, and they're like Viking-esque kind of, but they've got like ogres and trolls on their side, big giants and stuff. Awesome figures. And like I say, the figures keep getting better. That is one of the downsides. I will say, to point this out, this one's going to be all right now, but you'll see you have, come on, focus in. There are some pretty big seams on some parts of the models which need attacking with a craft knife just to sort of scrape them back a bit. It does mean you kind of lose some detail. I can't really catch it there, but you can see I think once they're sprayed, once they're primed and painted and ranked up, I don't think you'll really notice. But when you do zoom in with them being bigger models, there are some seams on these, on some of the parts, and it's a little bit of a shame because the detail is there. There's some really nice detailing on the parts, you know, on the models. And like I say, the characters in the resin are really, really nice. So And they, to be fair, I really don't like resin, and these went together so easily. Sorry, I've waffled on a bit, but I wanted to give you a bit of an overview. It's like I say, it's not really just an unboxing. Like I say, you want to know what you get in the box, you get some die. Who doesn't need more dice? That's what you're going to get. Imagine these built into 3 lovely knights. You've got a lot of different stuff. It's asymmetrical as well. So if you just get the starter box, you've got archers and troops, but then you've got this monster flopping around. What you do with him versus knights. Lots of different types of things. Power hitting. These move very fast as well because they're huge. Quick, strong, but can be a little bit fragile if they get caught up in. They're good on the impact, less so then when people counter them. If you don't get rid of everything in one go. Men at arms, good solid, but you know, up against some of these brutes and the bigger models, they're going to get smashed. The archers are great, but you've got to get them relatively in close, which then leaves them at their maximum range. Say they've got a range of 20 on the card. That's their maximum range. Realistically, you want them half range, then you get the full amount of shots. So if you're talking a shot a man at close range, you're going to get 12 shots. At longer range, you're going to get 6. And when you start trying to work in, like, you know, other variants and stuff, defenses people might have, buffs they may get, you know, like say the shield bonus, you're going to start being less effective. So you kind of got to push them up. But then if they get charged by this quickly, comes on from the side and hits them, they're going to be wiped in one turn. So lots of different things to consider. Say if it made 50% of its hits, it could take out 10 archers in one attack, and they're not going to do anything back to it on hand to hand. So really interesting game. I haven't played it yet, which is why I've kind of rushed into building all the models because I want to get a game on, and then I'll kind of maybe have to do it in a weird way. I may just do a setup mini game and show you how various bits of it work. But that's it. Yeah, that's it for now. Check us out. If you any questions, you're more than welcome. If you go to the website, there's a form on there you can fill in. Just send me any questions. Obviously, you can drop comments underneath. I'll try and get back to you. Like I say, I have got the Marksmans and the Steel Legion and some characters, not these ones, some different ones. They're on eBay at the minute, but they will go on the store. And like I say, whenever you want, if anything you see, it's not on the store, or you're just interested in it, then drop us a line. Like I say, most of these things are a 2-day turnaround into me, and I can get them out to you. So if you're interested or there's a specific thing you want that I haven't got, just tell me and I'll try and do my best to get it for you. Thank you very much for watching. Like I say, sorry, I hadn't intended it to be this long, so I'll let you go now. Thank you very much. Bye.